What up, what up, what up?
Yeah, what's up, people?
Welcome to episode 10, 11, 12, 13.
yeah, I'm never sure anymore.
Welcome to another episode.
That's all you need to know.
Yep. You're listening to Locks.
And this is Black3lmo.
And this is the really real show. You afraid someone's gonna jack your shit? Relax, cause your shit ain't that expensive, bro.
Hey.
People in this neighborhood can afford their stuff. Anyway, welcome to another episode of the Really Real Show. And to get it kick started today
is Fred.
This week's episode brought you by Fred B.
Yeah.
Hit us up, Fred B. We are more than willing sponsors. You don't even have to pay us. Fred
Not
B will
even.
do any day, all day. So
Shit. Hit us up.
Alright, we always hit.
To get serious about.
Alright, so today we're going to be talking about, we're going to do a song breakdown of Joyner Lucas. The song is called I'm Not Racist.
Probably heard about it.
Maybe, yeah, if you weren't living in a hole. If you have, Joyner Lucas is probably, at the moment, I'd say the
Hardest thing?
Yep.
That depends on who. You know what I mean? Like, you know, some people probably think.
Yeah, or like,
not
like,
some.
yeah, excusing all them little dickheads. And, anyone with a little in their name right now that's like kind of popping off right now. I don't give a shit about you.
Yeah.
Joyner Lucas, for any real hip hop fan,
Shit is dope.
is what's hot right now.
Yeah.
His shit's tight. He's killing it. So we're gonna be breaking down one of his big songs, I'm Not Racist. Then we are gonna review Cyhi The Prynce's new album, No Dope on Sundays.
Tell him, bro. Tell him.
I think the friends got to.
So No Dope on Sundays. So it's Cyhi's. This album, he dropped it what? So he dropped it a while back, and we actually did the episode on it, which
But
was meant to upload, but then
due to
technicality ish, yeah. So shit fucked up,
Yep.
and then
Now we're back again. Yep.
Cause it's that dope an album.
Had to
And
do it
then,
twice.
yeah, exactly, and our content is that dope too, and then yeah, so you got No Dope on Sundays. That's Cyhi's new shit, and then we obviously then segue into our turn up, my generation, Afro music type of shit at the end of it. So we're gonna get into it straight away and talk about I'm Not a Racist. This is really dope. I love the track only because see,
it's some real shit though.
yeah, no, yeah, and obviously there was some flaws in the raps as well, like what both parties are saying. But what I like is it gets people talking, because people get uncomfortable when race comes up, and that's not the point. You can't hide from the fact that one person's yellow, the other person's fucking brown, whatever, white.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I mean, that's the same way as, someone's got big ass feet and, like small hands or some shit like that. You know what I mean? So
it's uncomfortable, but eventually you're going to have to address it.
Exactly. So I like it because it got people talking.
Yeah.
But then, I guess the bad part about it as well is you're always going to get those people that like are going to jump on it and be like, you know what? Yeah, no, fuck this. I don't know if I sent you this video. This dude was talking about when he's talking about Kool-Aid and shit. I'm like, dude, it is a fact. Like, we just like that shit. Like, it's
like white people like salads and shit. You don't see us fucking that.
I would not find it derogatory, bro. Fucking,
But,
I love chicken.
Everyone loves chicken unless you're a vegan.
Like, how you?
Everyone fucking loves chicken.
How you gonna make fun of me about loving chicken and make me offended? How am I gonna be offended? I do love
But I'm
chicken.
eating it. It tastes good.
But
What else is there? What else are you gonna tell me? Like that's.
I'm not losing anything out of that.
Bruh, I'm not losing no sleep. I've been asleep.
So I don't know, like I really think that the track is
It's tight.
Yeah, it's really dope in that sense, and I mean, it really brings out also like the misconceptions that both parties have of each race.
Yeah. So basically, what both sides are thinking, the other side does.
But never really know because they never have that conversation.
Yeah, they're just assumptions, basically. So he's basically just gone and talked about the assumptions that each side has made about the other.
Yeah.
And then explains their anger towards one another, and then just go. But then at the end he goes, obviously there's some differences to both sides, and I want to get to know your side of the story.
Yeah. Which,
in essence, like, it sounds simple enough, right? But there's just too many retards out there. Like
it's a really, it's a really big issue. But I mean, just like with any other big issue, you gotta start with small steps. You can't just jump right into it. Yeah, but the problem is like no one's taking the steps. Like people just
everyone's just yelling. They just going to the extreme.
Same way when on that track when that black dude comes on and then he says, we start Black Lives Matter, then you start All Lives Matter. Like
he's
protesting.
Protest to my protest.
Yeah, of which look, I understand that All Lives Matter. Yes. The Black Lives Matter, like for me, I didn't like the whole movement because of the direction it took. But I mean, the whole thing is we're not saying we matter more than anybody else.
But it just seems like
there were certain injustices
that needed to be addressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you are saying you're not racist, right? This is just my opinion. If you say you're not racist, then why not then support me for? If I'm going with this whole Black Lives Matter thing and I'm saying, hey, look, there's these injustices that are going on, police brutality, all this shit, we're getting mistreated. If you're saying you're not racist, then stand up with me. Because essentially, if you're saying you're not racist, that means you love all people no matter what color, creed, right? Yeah. So therefore, you should be able to support for the same fucking thing. The moment when that happens, I think that's like a really big step in terms of like fighting racism. Yeah. But if it's always going to be a case where
them, then it's not going to help much.
Nah, bro. Like it then just becomes, because it's a lot easier to refute or to fight against because it feels as if like.
It feels like the louder you yell, the louder you yell, it just seems like at that moment it's you're winning, but really it just creates more problems. Like, and the sad thing is, it's only the extremes of both sides. They're the ones that are the most vocal. Like the logical, calm people who are in between. I think like their voices get drowned out by all the retards on the end. Like if we just shut those fuckers up. And as you know, not the moderates, but the more calmer, saner, logical people in the middle. So pretty much almost every other normal thinking human being. Yeah. If we come together, sat down and hashed it out, we can get shit done easily, man. It's a simple thing. It's a simple thing in the end when you think about it. But only because we allow only the idiots to represent us, only the loud, ignorant fools. That then becomes the issue, and that's pretty much what's going on in that song. Is that you've got two extremes, pretty much. You got the one guy who supports Donald Trump, you got the other dude who just hates white people, like, and he's gone through his own shit, and then he just blames it on, you know what I mean? It's just
so you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's just again just that endless cycle.
We're not talking about the solution, which is basically just fucking outlining the little bitches, bro.
Yeah, you're just talking about the problems, and then you start yelling about it, and then that's not going to go anywhere.
And then there's other another thing that I liked is when he talks about the word nigga, right? Yeah. Just to fucking make it clear for everybody else that is not black, it is never okay for you to fucking say that word. So
PSA.
Yeah. So the reason being, because a lot of people's logic is then, wait, but you say it to your friends, so why can't I say it? Well, the reason is. You don't see me trying to call you cracker. I don't.
Like, what's up, my cracker?
Right? So, dude, so like, I mean, we all know what cracker means. Yeah, but I'm not gonna fucking walk around and say it, am I?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the word nigga originated, and when it originated, it was never, it was always as,
a derogatory term.
Basically, it was a derogatory term, right? So, my thing is, like, now we say it only because, like, you know, when we call and we homies, like I can say it to you, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't in any way.
It's not opening the floor to anyone else.
No, because it's just our thing. I don't even understand what the big fuss is about. Why do you want to say it so bad? Like,
doesn't make you cool.
Like, it's one word out of the fucking whole dictionary you don't get to say, and that pisses you off.
Any other word, other word.
And that's a problem. I'm like, come on, bro.
Because you feel excluded. Like, what's happening, man? Like, it's a whole thing.
Look, just let it go. It's just a word you cannot say. Fucking move on.
It ain't
Period.
true.
Don't question why. You don't need to know the logic, right? I'm only saying it now because like there's just a lot of people who just feel as if
they got shit twisted.
Nah, like we could be friends for as long as we fucking want, and as long as you're white, do not ever fucking call me a nigga. Not at any point. It's never okay at any time at all. Fucking keep it moving. All right.
PSA.
Yeah. And then he's just got funny shit. He talks about like you know, y'all acting as if like y'all picked cotton in the plantation. I'm like, fam, there's this thing called history. You know,
right?
You can't forget your past.
Yeah, like I mean, these dudes will be complaining and talking about their great grandfather got shot for some bullshit, and be talking about it for the rest of their lives. But you're like, nah, forget about 400 years of slavery.
No.
Let's just get that out of the way.
I'm like, you do realize the reason why a lot of the shit that we have here is because of shit that happened hundreds of years ago. So therefore, history does have an impact.
Works. Yeah, right? Kind of how it works. Like you do things now, they will be felt later. This is literally how life works.
Like, how do you think your fucking family is rich? Because your granddad
exploited other motherfuckers for his own gain.
So, like, if you want us to forget the fucking past, then, like, you need to let go of all the shit that you inherited.
Right.
You can't, right? You won't. So, just like any other person, like, we fucking take that on as well, because that's what we have. Sadly, that's what we have for history. You know, like, we're an oppressed people. We've had to deal with that for fucking years. So, again, people, fucking let us. Alright? I don't understand what the fucking problem is. Jesus.
There's just too many whiny bitches.
People just want a bitch, bro.
Like, too whiny ass bitches.
Man.
Just
Seriously.
going on everywhere.
Yeah. No,
Sort
I mean,
that out.
Like, they don't act like, you know, that shit doesn't exist. Like, I don't see color. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. What do you mean you don't see color?
Don't tell me that. That means that's pretty much what you... You know, it's literally just walking up to someone and going, hey, I'm not racist, but you're about to drop some racist shit.
It's like literally. The fact that you introduce yourself like that, if you were, there would not be any need for you. You would not even feel uncomfortable being around me or talking to me.
Yeah.
The fact that
just
you
say
want to
hello.
point it out.
Yeah.
Because I'm
say hi, how are you?
I'm a normal human being. Like I know about shit like courtesy. If you say hello, I say hello back.
I speak English. You know, sometimes better than other white people, but fuck, you don't see me bringing that up.
Man.
Just whenever someone says, like when someone says no offense, they're about to offend you.
Oh, of course.
So when you say I'm not racist, but you're about to say some racist shit, if in your mind the first thing that you have to say is I'm not racist, probably stop.
Right.
And rewind and shut the fuck up.
It's like, but I'm not racist, but you speak really good English.
For a black dude. Like, come on, really? Like, that shit literally happened to me.
Like, there's a million things you could possibly have said to me right now.
Like, hello, how are you? Simple. Get to the point. Don't try to prove you're not racist by saying some racist shit. Like, it's just not on. Like, just... Every time I think about that, it just pisses me the fuck off. It's like...
Is this shit to do with, like, just plain ignorance?
Yeah. Like, just shut the fuck up.
That's the problem. Like, we're, like, at the end of the song, they say, you know, the problem is there's that disconnect between cultures, which is really true. So this is not to peg just white people, like, maybe y'all
it's everyone.
Y'all just thinking, like, you know, we just out here to, like, fucking get white. But this is
for everyone.
Because there's also a lot of black people at fault.
Of course,
right?
like you got.
There's a lot of black people that are racist as well.
Every side, like that's just common sense.
Yeah, so, because it's not necessarily it's not just really to do with your color, but also how you're brought up. Because same way you can also get a white person that's not fucking racist. It's because of how they're brought up, right?
They're just an understanding people. They're brought up not to look at color. You worry about what the type of person that they are. That's how you judge someone. That's how you're meant to judge someone.
And then you get people
their action by what they do.
And then you get people that talk about, oh, I'm not racist because my cousin's sister's uncle is black. I'm like, okay, bro.
The shit like that, like that's literally all this stuff is in the song. Like it's just not a justification. It just don't work.
No.
You can't be so. If you gotta reach into your family history to talk about how someone you knew was of another race, then that's just not gonna help no one, is it? Like it's just straight up useless to people.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's just, I don't know how you could, to justify that. But anyway, Joyner Lucas' shit is tight.
I mean, like it's good to listen to shit like that because it actually makes you think and and share your opinions as well. Like just because it's about race, don't be scared. Like fucking say it.
Sit down, listen to it, have an open mind.
Look,
let us know what you think about it.
If you get someone that blasts you on the internet and like is talking like crazy shit, then you have to be, I guess, the bigger person and be able to smell bullshit and just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Like remember that page that we used to follow, and then
the revolution will not be televised.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And then she just goes off and what was it? Oh, it was about being black and having a girlfriend or a wife that's not black.
Yeah.
And then
saying you're down for like a black movement.
Yeah, it's like you can't. You can't be pro-black if and then
if you're in an interracial relationship. Yeah. Look, if anyone's on Instagram, right, look up a page called "Revolution Will Not Be Televised." Will be televised or will not be televised?
Will not be.
Will not be televised. I think it's 2, like the number 2. It is a page run. What I'm assuming is an angry, bitter black woman. She must have been in maybe one or multiple relationships where the dude has left her.
And I feel sorry for you.
For other women of other colours.
You can't tell me that I'm not pro-black just because
I'm in an interracial relationship.
What the fuck
does that have to do with anything?
So you're telling me that my preference in terms of who I want to date defines everything.
Pretty much means your black card is revoked. Like that's the type of hate that we don't fucking want in the first place.
Because what made me realize that she was not really trying to have a conversation was the moment like when I commented and then she's like, I've been waiting for someone like you, and I was like, okay,
here we go. And that argument from that rebuttal from her did not make no goddamn sense.
Nothing. And you know what's funny is because she crossed her own point, and I just used it against her.
And then she's like, this argument is over. Like, bitch, did you?
And then she had like, I don't know, it's probably like one of her homegirls, and then they're like, oh, well, we're gonna come and stomp you or some shit like that. I was like,
that's how you handle shit like an adult.
I'm like, alright, try. Like, I bet you bitch ass doesn't even have a passport. How you gonna get here?
She probably never left her city or town. But you talking that big shit. Again, keyboard warriors. Like, enough with the hate. Just shut the fuck up. Okay? Man. Live your life how you wanna do it. Stop trying to tell people that they're wrong for doing that shit. Like, bro, how dare you?
If like it's that's the thing, like people don't understand that it's okay to disagree with someone.
Yeah, you're allowed to form your own opinions. If I disagree with you, it means I'm actually in the you don't have to fight me about it. I'm allowed to have my opinion because guess what? We don't live the same life. We have different perspectives. Yeah, we have different perspectives. We grew up different ways. Therefore, what you say I can't take it as gospel every other day. If I think you're talking shit,
if I just agree with you, you told me.
Like, yeah, no, you're right. Then, you might as well the pigs are flying. I'm like, yeah, sweet, nah, just seen it over there. No, really, like, what the fuck, man?
Right.
Like, if anything, if someone tells you something and you take it at face value, something's wrong with you. Even if that person is right, still question it. Find out what the reasoning is for that opinion before you just blindly hop in and say, yeah, you're right. Like, if they tell you, it's raining outside, like, based on what? Why should I just take your word for it? and then be like, oh, look outside, motherfucker, it's raining. And then you look outside and okay, you got facts to back it up. I'll be like, alright, cool, right? I haven't had a chance to check outside. I didn't know. Simple. Just don't take what someone says at face value. Question it, question it. I think one of the best, I don't know if it's Lupe that said it, but like, he goes, even if you like someone, or even if you think that they're right, still question their motives. Still question it. Like, don't just be like blindly agreeing to shit, because they might have the best answer you've ever had in your life, but the reasoning behind it is fucking dumbass. Like,
what's their motive?
Yeah, you gotta find out what their motive is. Like, are they coming from a good place, or is it just bullshit? Like, what's going on?
Because everybody's got a motive.
Yeah. So, like, in this, like, in going with this song, it's just like, don't just assume that you heard someone else say that black people are lazy or white people are racist. Like, don't just blindly accept it and then go with the crowd.
Yeah.
First of all, be your own person. Get the facts right. Understand that not everyone is the same. Therefore, not every black person is lazy. I know black people that don't like chicken. That's just facts. Like,
I don't like watermelon.
I fucking don't like watermelon. I hate that shit. I don't eat it. The fuck? You know what I mean? It's shit like this, like common sense.
As much as it might be a surprise to people, we are different.
Yeah, not every black person is fucking same. Those are African Americans that you go on. Like, there's a whole bunch of other types of different black.
Right.
It's kind of like saying Americans and European, or like Germans are the same. They're all completely different.
I think it's just a problem where Americans are the most televised. Like
they make the most noise, so obviously that stereotype sticks to everyone.
Yeah. So like when they see us, they just think.
Yeah, you're one of them.
Yeah.
That's it. So it's that misconception. Like, find out the truth for yourself. Come to your own conclusions. If by the end of it you're still convinced about a certain thing, well then fuck it. That's just you.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not open to change. Maybe you weren't like convinced otherwise. That's fine by me. At least if you tell me that that's how you came about doing this, you didn't just jump on to the like you've done your research, you've got your reasons. Then by all means do whatever the fuck you want. It's a free world, man, or free country here at least. Do whatever the hell you want. Okay, we like fuck it. We can't change everyone's minds. I accept that.
True.
But if the majority get with it, that'll be enough to make a difference. That's all you need. But anyway, just listen to this dope ass song. I'm not racist. Joyner Lucas, and listen to his other shit too, because the dude is dope.
Yeah,
he's
definitely worth a listen.
You will be instantly hooked. He's remixing shit. He's doing his own stuff. Like, it's.
So if you didn't know, you heard it here first.
You heard it here live, ladies and gents.
But yeah,
Time
so
up.
what you trying to do?
I'm trying to see if the shit was recording.
Wasn't it a timer?
Huh?
What wasn't it a timer?
I don't know. It kind of stopped.
Did it stop when I?
I heard a beat.
Yeah. Because now you don't. I just access it and then.
So I'm trying to figure out because it stopped like showing.
That'd be some fucking bullshit. Because the busy bad. Because the double square busy. I'm finishing that video.
Tell me now, it's fucking frozen.
Can you?
Try to connect your shit because it's still flashing, so I'm assuming it's still recording. I don't know. Okay, so we're doing something. What do you got on yours? Get over the
Fuck. Correct is 0%.
Of what?
I don't know, the Congo ones is 0%. That's what's in there.
Press stop. Nothing?
No, you're good.
You know, it's showing us live, but like.
And then stop. And then, I guess. Yeah,
Why is it still flashing?
how's that 2 gig?
It's 4K, bro.
No, because I think it. Oh, for fuck's sake, man.
What up?
Yes, we're recording. Oh, so 9 minutes, but you had a bit of 9 minutes.
How are you gonna make fun of me if it feels as if it's just so you're not going
So you only recorded about half of the shit.
Another thing that I liked is when he talks about the word nigga.
What was the next one?
So I think it pretty much cut out when I
So
accessed it.
just to fucking make it clear for everybody else that is not black.
Oh.
That's what
Okay.
I think it splits it into.
So he is saying, yeah. It's like you do things that's about race, don't be scared. Like fucking say, sit down, listen to it, have an open mind.
It's gone down, boy.
Let us know what you think about it. If you get someone that laughs you.
But it's still. Sorry, I record
You
now.
can't tell me that I'm not pro.
Alright, tight.
Yeah.
If you can't realize that she was not really trying to have a conversation.
Tell me to cut out.
When I commented, and then she's like, I've been waiting for.
No, it didn't record the whole thing.
And that argument from.
Yeah, because it's only got 2 clips.
Damn it. Connect fail away.
Alright, I'll just do it off my phone.
Alright.
Fuck, now what are we gonna do, man? We're gonna have to do. So we were talking about that bitch on Instagram.
Yes, how do we finish up? You cut to say.
You know what? I'll just plug it in and just say like we took like a drinks break, and then we just come back and just pick it up from there. Alright. Is she recording or is it just live? Because it's counting.
What?
Look at that. So I guess like now I'm gonna move on to album review.
Yep.
And like the album that we got for this week or for this episode is Cyhi The Prynce.
Cyhi The Prynce.
And the album is called No Dope on Sundays.
Yeah.
What's your take on the album?
I liked it. That was some dope shit.
Mm.
I guess because mainly I'm not even gonna say we were lacking like good hip hop like because for me Cyhi for just backtrack for those of you that aren't familiar with Cyhi The Prynce, he's been around since late 2000s, so like yeah.
I mean, like I can remember from like
I'm talking about when Kanye
was
good
that?
days.
My Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Yeah, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's we'd heard of him before that. Like he was on like the Good Music Cypher, like for BET.
Okay.
Like I'm like maybe late 2000s. Cyhi came through, and he was signed obviously by to Good Music. He'd been on that roster for ages. Like he was featuring on like tracks everywhere. But I think his most notable feature was on Kanye's album then, which the track was Soul Powered. So you had you had Jigga, you had Pusha, and then you had Cyhi. Now, all of those guys at that stage were like lyrical geniuses, and for someone like Cyhi to be able to spit a verse and then have it stay on that album is just enough to let you know that this dude is good. Like,
yeah, I mean, like remember I told you like he I actually found out when like through listening to the album that not through listening to the album, like after listening to the album I was talking to someone else that he wrote some of the songs on that album and he actually writes some material for Ye.
Yeah. Right, yeah, that's
like,
what you were telling me that as well. Yeah. Like this dude is a talented artist. Like I think it's just he just kind of stalled a little bit because I thought coming off that feature, like he was gonna drop, a few singles, maybe a mixtape, and then, like get him up. I don't know.
He just went quiet.
Yeah, I don't know what went wrong and who mismanaged what, but props to him for sticking with it.
Oh yeah.
Like he stuck with it. He was doing lots of like sway freestyles. Like he was staying current. Like he wasn't really dropping much in terms of like any other tracks and stuff, but he was still staying like low key relevant, like in the hip hop scene. So good for him for sticking with it. And then he finally released this, and I was not at all disappointed. Like it's probably one of the best works I've heard in a while.
And
Like
remember how we were talking about how it was a good surprise.
yeah,
You know, it was kind of like just out of nowhere, and you hear Cyhi dropping an album, and you kind of like.
and you're like, I wasn't sure, to be honest with you. Like, I was actually because that's the same time or same week that Jada and Jada and Fabulous dropped Freddie vs. Jason. So everyone was more hyped about that.
And I honestly was too.
Yeah, I was hyped. Because I'm not even a big Loso fan, but I was hyped about it.
Because I listened to Freddie vs. Jason, and I was like, it's a decent album. That's all it was, right?
Yeah.
Nothing really stood out enough for me to be like, man,
this shit's hot.
And then so I was like, alright, let me get onto Cyhi. And like I wasn't even expecting much, but I was like, look. I was like,
and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, because like I do all albums, right? As soon as he drops, I get the whole thing on my phone.
And you listen to it.
Like, not just like straight through, no shuffle, nothing. Yeah. And then I go through every single track. And I was like, man, this dude. I remember I was on Amen. I was on it for a minute.
That's the title track, by the way.
Yeah, that's the first track.
And he was stuck on that for 2 days before he even moved on to the next song.
And then I got onto No Dub on Sundays. And then I was like, fuck. And then he featured Pusha on that. I'm like, fuck, man.
Goddamn. Like,
it took me a minute to actually then work my way down to like track 3 to the rest of the album.
Yeah, like for me, for some reason, I copped both albums at the same time. So Freddie vs. Jason and No Dub was because something was like to me, listen to Cyhi first. Like, I was thinking, you know what? I'll work my way up to the good shit, and then I listened to this, and I was like, fuck. Now Freddie vs. Jason's gonna have to be like some tight shit. Then I listened to it, I'm like, that's not even like worth. Like I just went and then I went back to No Dub on Sundays, and I was just like, god damn, this dude. He even makes 2 Chainz look good on his shit, like.
Bro, that is a fucking good project. It's all like through and through.
It's a dope thing. It's got a little bit of everything for everyone, like,
right? No disappointment. Like for me, the tracks that really stood out. First track would definitely be 80s Baby.
Yeah. I know you spoke on that for a minute.
When I heard that, the first time I listened to it, I was like, what the fuck is going on? I was like, alright, let me listen to it again. And I was like, fuck, this dude's basically talking from a perspective of an unborn kid
to a crack addicted mother.
Yeah, I was like, man, this shit is just too deep.
It was too real, man.
But especially I think it was in the last verse when he talks about how he's like, look, if I'm born, I'm probably gonna end up in the Delta.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, that is just some dark shit.
Yep. Dark but true.
Yeah, like the whole song was just dark, man, and
you just
but that shit that happens.
Yeah. It's a reality for most people.
Fuck.
Like that track for me, I'm just like Jesus. But like for me, the ones that stood out the most was God Bless Your Heart. Man, that shit is just smooth. It's just him just dropping bars to this smooth kind of jazzy beat, and it's just fucking tight, man. Like honestly, I think that's probably my favorite track on that whole album. And then you've got Murder featuring Estelle. Like, that one is tight because he samples Aini Kamosi. They call it Murder. Yeah, that one. And he samples that. Man, it is tight. And then there was I like Trick Me, the one with 2 Chainz on it.
It's turn up top of it.
No, it ain't even like turn up. That's that side with Kanye. See,
Ye's
one ain't
even. Trick Me kinda is.
It's more like your trap house type of shit.
Yeah.
But then like at the end, how Cyhi comes in, flips the beat, and then like just drops bars. That's what I like about that whole track. So that's the standout for me. But yeah, like I said, my favorite is definitely God Bless Your Heart.
Okay.
Like that shit's tight to me. It's just smooth. It's just chill. It's like bars on bars, and it's mellow as, man. Like it's just some shit. Like it's just tight. I liked it. But yeah, overall, I'm definitely giving that 4 stars.
Oh, okay.
That's definitely
Because I was like, what, 4 out of 10? I was like, what?
Yeah, bro, what the fuck?
I was like, shit, like, so
I love it.
what kind of review? What kind of review you gonna give to a 7 or 8?
Right, so imagine if I hate the shit. What is that then? Mine? Nah, so I liked it. It's 4 out of 5, guys. 4 out of 5. So,
like,
yeah.
for me, the tracks that stood out, like Amen, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I love, like, with Amen, the thing that really stuck out for me is like when he starts talking about the commandments, or like.
But then he added 11 or 12 of them?
Oh, it was 12, yeah, he was like 12.
And I was like, where's these extra 2 come from? I thought it was the 10 Commandments.
No, what I liked about it is it was sort of like, you know, like rules to live by.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how he was going about it. And I don't know, there's something about that little spin, having commandments, but like these are like sort of like street commandments.
It's kind of like Biggie's 10 crack commandments.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so he just took them and then he added a few of his own.
I mean, of course, Biggie's is better, but hey, there's nothing. It's not taking anything away from this guy.
Biggie's 10. If you haven't heard Biggie's 10 crack commandments, go listen to it. But yeah, back to side that the Amen track was fucking dope, and I know Dope Inside is obviously fucking mad as shit. Yeah.
The on Cyhi's verse, the one thing I really like is like when he says, you know, if you're trapping
to get
trap to get your daughter out,
yeah,
daughter to college. If you're trapping to get your mom out of the projects or whatever, right? Don't just trap just for the fucking
for
sake.
the sake of it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like have goals, like trap and then be like, I can't remember who said it. It was like where they're like, look, when you trap for a little bit, but with a bigger vision where you're like, alright, cool, I'm gonna trap for a couple months or whatever, for a few years, whatever, get my shit together, and then get legit.
I know Push says that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Push says that in most of these tracks where he's like, where you can drop it all at 30 and be free to go. Like, what song is that? Is that Alone in Vegas? When he's talking about that, like,
It sounds familiar, but I
you
can't
be trapping, but then make sure your shit's that tight that you be able to drop it all and
then just move.
Yeah, and just move into some legit shit.
Because you can't keep doing that, bro.
Yeah, man, you either end up dead or in jail.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I like how he's like, you know, if you're gonna trap, like, use it as a means to an end, not just as a way of life.
Because
it's not viable.
Because it's only going to be one end to it. Oh,
I've never heard of a retired trapper, you know.
No. Like, there's only 2 things that's going to happen. Either you're going to fucking die from that shit,
or
somebody's going to cap you, or you're going to be in jail. There's no fucking other
Like I said, there's no job security in trapping, bro. Like, you're not going to retire with a super.
It's like, yeah, so my 401k is doing good. Fuck off.
Your shit ain't gonna be that tight. It's how many times you give that shit.
So there's that, and like I like Trip because like it's kind of like a good vibe type of track. And then you got I don't like that side, honestly. Like that side really reminds me of that part. As in Schoolboy Q, that part. And I don't like that part because like I didn't like
never a big fan of that part.
I didn't like the beat. I was kind of like iffy with the beat and Schoolboy's verse, and then Ye just shat on the song. That was an awful verse from Ye.
That's why I didn't fuck with it.
It was way better. It was way better if it had just been Q, nobody else.
True.
I probably could have fucked with it a little bit more.
If it was just
So
he just kept making them noises, and I'm just like, bro.
And Ye did exactly the same fucking shit with that song.
Nah. He changed it up. Like honestly, his flows. He actually says words, and there's no weird noises. Like
but I'm saying in the sense that I got the same feeling.
What?
Didn't like it. Didn't like the beat.
Alright.
I didn't like the flow. So I was just like, that was a no for me.
It's
like,
not for everybody. Yeah.
Trick Me is way better than that side.
I think so.
Yeah. And then fucking Murder, of course. And then New Africa.
Yeah, that's one I was.
That was so like New Africa is a fucking dope track.
Yeah, just listen to the whole thing, man. Just
so like New Africa,
make it up your own mind.
Yeah, but New Africa is basically talking about he's got this ideology where all those famous black people invest invested time, money, and effort
and just
into
move
Africa.
back to Africa.
It's like, imagine if Jay-Z owned,
Casinos and shit
Yeah,
out in
so
Zambia
somewhere,
or
yeah.
whatever.
or if Ye, invested somewhere in Africa, and which I think it sounds crazy, but it actually
It's very
makes a lot
doable.
because
Very
like
doable.
a lot of these Americans, like, they're starting to sort of like want to reach out or like
Do an
I-
income
I-
basically
or understand,
where they're from.
yeah.
Yeah.
And unless you invest in your own people, nobody else is, right?
Yeah.
So I mean I know it's in this song and like people think, oh fuck, it sounds crazy, like Ye investing in Africa, right? Which is sad because like, I mean it's something that you can actually do. You know, it ain't that crazy,
It's easier than you think. You look at Akon.
right? Like
He
how
came
crazy is it? Like Akon was able to like fucking deliver like how many houses got electricity
Bro,
from
man.
Akon?
10 million people.
But
he
then
was giving
all these fucking charity organizations, what do they do?
for years. They
How-
bro,
We were born and they were there already.
they're still like with the charity organizations. To be honest with you, I've never seen so many rich CEOs of non for profit. I've never seen so many rich non for profit CEOs. Like it's in the description of your company. It's a not for profit organization.
Yeah, you make.
Yeah, you're out here a millionaire. How the fuck? Where's this money going? Akon comes through 6 months in. He's already
One person.
Yeah, he's already given out electricity to 10 million people. What the fuck have you been doing, World Vision? Save the children.
It's like,
whatever the
oh,
fuck.
so just give $1. $1's enough to give a kid like water for 2 days or whatever the fuck. I'm like,
6 months. Like,
motherfucker, like, get fucking balls or like build systems for them to then be able to actually sustain
Don't
themselves.
give them bottled water, you dumbasses.
But yeah, like,
Are you
what do you think?
fucking
I was like,
dumb?
oh no, we've got relief packages. They come through with like fucking clothes and like, and then
Teach
bottled
them
water.
to make their own clothes. You know what I mean? Teach them about safe water use. You
I mean,
dumb
like,
bastard.
look, it just comes down to the fact that like, if they make them self-sustaining, they don't make
They
it a
don't need
business.
it. Yeah, it's a business again.
So they want to help them, but they also want to keep them coming back.
Yeah.
So how do you do that? How do you keep someone hooked?
You half-ass it. You half-ass it. That's all
it,
that is.
Because like, I mean, it doesn't take a fucking genius to figure that out.
Man, you know, anyway,
But,
we're
hey.
digressing. Fuck that shit.
Yeah. But basically, to do
It's tight shit.
my rating, I
You
think
can
I think
like
I'll
3.5,
I'll go
like
with you on that one. I'll go with you on that.
4.
Yeah.
Man, alright,
Four.
generous of you.
Four.
There you have it, folks. No Dope on Sundays, 4 stars from the both of us. So
That means
definitely,
shit's good.
definitely worth a listen. Even if you don't even fuck with what we're saying, listen to it anyway.
Please do.
Because if you're a fan of this show, you will love it.
Yeah.
You will like it. So check that out. Cyhi The Prynce, No Dope on Sundays. Insane album. Really good. I hope he brings out more shit ASAP. Like, and shouts out to Push, man. Drop some shit too. We've been waiting for way too long. Starting to get frustrating, bro. Well, let's not get into all of that. It's just get me mad. Alright. Anyway.
We're gonna move on to the next fucking segment. So it's like my generation. We're just gonna talk. So we basically 90s kids. So like we're gonna talk about shit that's relevant to when we were growing up.
Yeah.
Right?
When we thought music was tight.
Yeah. So this could even go as far as like 80s, right?
Yeah.
But basically, because we're from the 90s generation, so we listen to like cross between 80s and 90s shit and early 2000s.
That's where we at.
But anyway, to get to the fucking music.
Mm-hmm.
For that, just need to like unlock my phone for a little bit. Sorry. No. I don't.
Don't worry, we'll wait.
For that, fuck, I came across this like the other day, right? Jay-Z, Big Pimpin'. Do you remember that shit?
Yeah. With that weird, like that chill kind of beat. Yeah.
Damn. But it was crazy because like I guess when I listened to it then, I can't remember how old I was when I was listening to that. They had remember these motherfuckers were like wearing these Hawaiian chase like fucking shirts.
One day on a yacht. Yep. And Dame Dash was acting a fool as usual.
And yeah, UGK, but and you know what's crazy? Pimp C was still alive.
Man, fuck. But back then,
he was, right? I'm pretty sure he was.
So.
Because Bun B was there. That's for
Pimp
sure.
C died like mid 2000s, didn't he?
So I'm pretty sure he would have been on Big Pimp.
Or like later on.
He would have been. No, he was on Big Pimp.
Yeah.
And I did not even know who the fuck that. I was just like, who the fuck is UGK? Because I knew Jada, right? Yeah. And I was like, listening to this shit, and I'm like, man, this is some sweet shit, and like you know how like, because Jay's got that demeanor about him, because like he's just like so chill, and
because I think he's physically incapable. He can't do anything else,
right? Exactly. Because like
his body won't allow him.
He doesn't dance. All he just does is just drops rhymes. It's just a lot of arm movement.
He's just moving like this.
Like it's like he's
just way too relaxed to do shit else. Like,
yeah.
Just like this is me. It's where I'm at.
Yeah. So I was like, fuck, this shit is dope. And like I remember watching it. This is like, oh shit. I would have been probably like in 5th grade, between 5th and 7th grade. Between 5th and 7th grade. You know why?
Yeah.
Because I was living with my grandma then. And I remember the video came out, and I was watching it on TV, and my grandma.
Yeah.
So for all y'all who haven't watched Big Pimp Rice, basically, I mean now it's not a big deal because
scantily clad
bitches got their asses shaking in the video, they're doing the most, right?
Everywhere.
But you gotta realize this is back in.
This was going 98.
So because 7th grade was like 12 years old, right?
Yeah, so
between 10 and 12.
So it'd be 99 to 2000.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know. 2000, 2002. Yeah.
Fuck it, I'll take it over.
2000, 2002.
Right.
Yeah.
But basically, we're young as fuck, right?
Yeah.
And this is like years ago, right?
17 to be exact.
So.
17, 18.
Jesus Christ, 17 years ago.
God damn.
Well,
fuck.
That is sad. Anyway, so yeah, so I remember my grandma walking in. So like Big Pimpin', right? Because you're already on YouTube, so you might as well just watch the video.
This is in Zimbabwe, by the way. This is not Australia.
Yeah. So
it's very
different.
Yeah.
Very different.
Very different viewpoints about scantily clad bitches dancing around in Europe.
Fucking bikinis, bitches. Like you got a yacht full of like 3-4 niggas, and the rest of them is bitches.
Bitches,
And like they ain't dressed properly.
And their asses around.
And then my grandma was like. She walks in, right? And then she's like...
Bet that was magical.
I was like, what the fuck are you watching? I was like, I'm just watching a video. I was like, what are them bitches doing? I was like, well, why they're not wearing any proper clothing? And I'm like...
I'm not there.
I don't know. I'm just... It's like, Grandma, I'm just listening to the music. That's all I want. I just want the music. I'm just listening to music. I can't see any of that. Like they're wearing.
I'm blind.
I can't see any of that. I'm just here for the music. Meanwhile, it's like fucking 3 niggas in a whole fucking video full of bitches, bro. But
damn well you were there for the bitches.
No, I actually wasn't there because at that point I didn't even comprehend.
Hey,
come on. Like,
it would depend on the day.
No, but like, did you really know what ass was? Like, was it as big to you?
I was 12. What the fuck?
Exactly, bro. That's my point. Yeah, I mean, it's different now, but like, I mean, then, bro, I swear to God, like, I mean, I was like, I started fucking kissing bitches when I was in 7th grade. You know what I mean? And even that took a minute, bro. Like, it was like...
You took warming up to...
Jesus fucking Christ, this is awkward. Actually, did I?
Man, let's not try.
Okay, let's go. No. Nobody needs to know.
Back to the track.
Back to the track.
But we're gonna go through your awkward sexual encounters with bitches when you was 12. That's fucked up.
That's what after the show. But yeah, that's a big thing. That's my fucking track. Like, listen to it. It's a smooth track. And because I'm pretty sure a lot of, I guess a lot of the newer generation never got to like listen to Jay-Z or Jigga like that because
when he was still
because
not
I mean
that
by the
big.
time they actually like by the time most of you actually started listening to rap music, he would have sort of like been
Jay-Z was pretty big already.
and he was slowly like coming down. So check it out.
Big pimpin'. Alright. So for me, I'm gonna take it to a slightly less happy note. It was Tupac and Outlaw's Still Alright. That is probably one of my favorite Pac tracks. And there's a lot of like Pac's catalog for me is just a treasure trove of shit. It just depends on what you feel like, but Still Alright is more like it's Pac almost wrestling with his mortality, basically. Like it's just, I think he was, because this was maybe a few months or a year before he died. So leading up to his death, and that's when he had songs like "Hit 'Em Up," "Bomb First." So it was really angry, but then this one was more of like a vulnerable version of him. Like he's kind of, it's almost like he'd accepted the fact that he was about to die soon. Like he just didn't know who he was gonna get it from, but it was coming. And like some of the lyrics were like you're like, still I rise, and when I die, I don't want you to cry. And then like, just come on, man. That's just, it's almost like he knows it's gonna happen soon.
Yeah.
And it's like it's almost like he's preparing other people for it, not really himself. Like he's already come to terms with it. But he's got Outlaws on there, and like they all just, it's just basically them like talking about what they came from. Like, the hard times, like hustling and shit like that, being poor when they were little, so, and now they're just going through a different struggle with all this shit, and then, now, it's like, well, if I die, fuck it, I die. Like, I've lived my life, but it wasn't the best, but here I go. Yeah. So it is a little bit on the, like, the sad side, but still a dope-ass track, so Tupac and Outlaws, Still I Rise. It's the one I got.
Okay, now we're still recording.
Yep.
Okay, because when I stopped it, you know, that's it. Ew. I said, fuck, 4K is just big, bro, because look at that. So basically, it's going to go to 4, bro, I've got what?
This is 27 gigs on it, but it's still recording.
Yeah, I just stopped it. Oh, fuck, did it just start recording now? I don't know. I'll be honest though, like, I was mainly quiet because like, I know that track of just seeing it from like track list, but I've never actually listened to it.
No, trust me, you need to listen to that. Hell for a Hustler as well. Shit's tight. Anyway, moving on now to Turn Up Beats. Yeah, so we'll get you from shit that you may not know about to stuff that you might know about right now, depending on who you're listening to. But for my turn up this episode, I've got OT Genesis.
Is it OT? Oh yeah, it's OT.
Yeah.
I thought it was OG Genesis.
Nah, it's like somebody else.
Yeah.
Might be. But yeah, OT Genesis, and the song's called Everybody Mad.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, that shit, it just sticks in your head for like 5 minutes. It's tight. Right, I like it. It's got a dope beat, it's just got a catchy hook. It's everything you're looking for in a turn-up track. Like, you get hyped to it, you're not going to be like listening to this like 6 months from now, probably forget.
6 months? Why are you pushing it?
I was being generous, man. You're true. Fuck. I was just being generous, dude. Like,
I haven't listened to it since
since it came out. Alright, like a month and a half from now, you probably forget.
Yeah.
But for that month and a half, it'll rock your shit.
Yeah.
It's tight, alright? It's just catchy, it's simple, if you finna get lit, this is the type for you.
Yeah. It's the type of shit you put on your geeky list, like just to get turned up.
Just get rowdy to it and you'll be alright.
Yeah.
So yeah, OT Genesis, Everybody Mad.
My turn out track is Nipsey's like Nipsey Hussle's like his album coming out drops the 16th of the 2nd, which
Victory
is
lap.
in a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, 2 weeks to be exact.
Yep.
Yeah, because there's a second, right? Yeah. Victory lap drops. So he's got a single. His first single off that album is Rap Niggas, and that shit bangs. Like, I mean, it's a definition of a turn up track in the sense that I actually do not really know what he's talking about. Like I know he's talking about I'm not like your typical rap nigga, which that
is true.
I agree to that.
Yeah, that's fact.
Mm.
But you will have to excuse the gratuitous use of the word nigga.
Yeah.
It is literally in every single line.
Yeah.
I am not making this up when I say he says nigga in every single line. All of them.
So
prepare yourself.
To put it another way, if you're not black, probably get the censored version.
So everything at the end of your song will just be censored.
Yeah.
3/4 of your song will be censored.
Oh yeah.
Basically.
But I mean, it's either that or you want to have that awkward situation where you got.
Or you're bumping it by your black friends, they're just looking to beat the fuck out of you. Depending on how understanding they are.
It just depends how much do you like your Facebook.
If you're gonna listen to it, listen to it in the safety of your own house.
Please do.
It is a dope track.
I mean, like you always do anyway.
But definitely listen to this song by yourself.
No, it's a dope track though. Yeah. Definitely, like the beat fucking bangs. The video's on point. Like I mean, it's
everything is tight.
It's like the package of a turn up track.
Yeah. It sums it up.
Yeah.
He's doing nigga shit.
Yeah. No, it's a really dope track.
Yeah.
Rap Niggas, Nipsey Hussle. Victory lap 16 off the second.
Yeah.
Fuck. I feel like Nipsey sent me to like fucking plug his shit because I keep talking about that.
Again, Nipsey for promotion. Hit us up. We will take alcohol in lieu of money. Thank you. Alright, carry on.
Yeah, so moving on.
Moving on now
to
the final segment,
which is Afrobeats.
Afrobeats. For all our Africans out there. Our peoples. So basically, seeing as how most of us are far away from home, we've got to keep up with the music that's hot somehow. So any little suggestion we can give you as to what we're bumping or what you like, hit us up. It's a two-way street. We tell you, you tell us.
It might necessarily be new to you, but it is to us.
Yeah.
Right?
So when you tell us what you're bumping, and it's give and go.
Yeah, because
and then we might plug your shit. You never know. We'll give shouts out. Fuck it.
Because our shit's a little bit delayed.
By a bit, we have to listen to a whole bunch of more shit. But anyway, so this is what we got this week. The one that I've been bumping this week, I don't know how old it is, but I fucking love it at the moment. It's This Kind Love, Patron King and Wizkid. And that shit is just tight. I love it.
It's a good
beat, everything. It's just
like it's the type of beat that just makes you want to dance. Like as in like that. It's a typical African song, where it just makes you want to get into like this vibe.
Yeah, we really do depressing songs no more because people shit's
like
bad enough.
When do we do depressing songs? Like everything is just about like. Some visual fat ass, or like we're talking about dancing and shit.
That's it. That's all I need. Like there's too many problems already. So yeah.
Fuck yeah. I don't need some other niggas singing that shit to me.
I already got problems, bro. I'm not trying to take yours on too. So yeah, This Kind Love, Patron King and Wizkid. Check that out. It's definitely tight.
This is that track. I got Yemi Holiday. I'm sorry if I pronounce it wrong, but Yemi Holiday and I think it's all. This track, swear to God, I will not even lie to you. 2 straight days. 2 fucking straight days. On repeat.
I'm not even shocked.
I was at work, bro. I swear to God, right? So First day I heard it, because I was talking to my dude Wayne from Cape Town, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, so I was like, hey, fam, like, do you know any shit that's like really going off lately? And he's like, yeah, there's one's Memza or Mem something. Sorry, fuck it, I forgot. I'm afraid anyway.
Yeah.
But and then he's like, and then there's my Figgy solo. And he's like, you really like this? That was the first track he actually suggested to me, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm like, alright, cool. And I listened to it. I was like, nigga. And this is like early morning. I'm on the ferry, fucking going to work. It was on repeat
The whole
from
time.
there. Got to work. Swear to God, shit was in my. I had my earphones on. The whole 8 hours of work.
And you still listen to the same thing.
It was on
I
repeat.
bet you know lyric for lyric by now.
I mean,
It's
I
still in
butcher
a
it.
language. It's still in another language.
Yeah.
But you are fairly confident.
Yeah.
What,
I can do it. Bro.
Yeah,
You play it right now, bro. And I'll shit.
Yeah.
Bro, just give me a mic.
Rip it up. I mean, we won't take it our ease, but I'll take your word for it.
But hey, bottom line is a fucking hard song. Like,
What
I
is it
I
called?
love it. It's called Ofananawe.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Fun enough.
Ofananawe. So like Ofana.
Or fun enough.
Second word is Nawe. I'm pretty sure I'm spelling them right too. But that's definitely a fucking good track, and it was a good mix as well. Like I mean, because you got that whole Nigerian vibe, and then you got South African. Because I mean, my figures all been around for a minute.
Like 20 years.
Yeah, and Yemi's coming up, and
Yeah.
I like when
merge,
different with
Like-
different cultures or like different
It
countries.
seems to be this thing right now where like South African artists be hooking up with like international artists, like not even South African, just like African artists. Like we had Wizkid. I think the most prominent one is Wizkid and Drake. When they did come closer
Yeah.
or closer, whatever it's called.
Mm.
And like that's probably the biggest one. But then you had like Sarkodie with Ace Hood,
That's that.
Wale with Questa.
There's been a lot of that. Like even what was that dude that got signed to Good Music?
Oh, the band, yeah, but he's
Yeah.
been quiet for a minute now.
As soon as he got
As soon as he signed,
when he got signed,
he did Oliver Twist and that shit bumped and it was making noise. But that was like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
He's been dropping stuff, but it hasn't been the same. Like it has not been the same. He hasn't been like doing anything good. And like I don't know, you better bring out something good. Otherwise, he's just gonna be doomed to being irrelevant for a minute. Like,
Cause I mean, it ain't like you gotta be in America. When you gotta have an American producer or be signed to an American label.
You just
do
signed
hot
over
shit.
there. They just
Like,
pay
look-
you more, but still be.
Look
putting
at
out
fucking
shit.
Tamaya, bro. Look at Tamaya.
Right? He's just putting out anything,
Right.
bro. Anything. Who's he signed to?
Look, I don't know. Look at Whiskey. Well, let's not even talk about the really like fucking prominent people. Let's talk about fucking people that we know would actually be produced by like most likely African producers,
Yeah.
like
Questa.
AKA
Casper, New
Casper, Questa.
All them dudes. Ricky Rick.
Jesus, I forget what's the
What's
dude
his
with
name? That Mohawk. The one that did Alabama.
Final.
Final.
I'm thinking about that dude. Shit. Duncan.
Yeah, Duncan's another one. By
So there's a lot. This is basically
yeah, like there's heaps. So like,
yeah.
look any
But-
of those people up, man. Their music is fucking tight. If you aren't already on it.
Yeah, and I mean like, you don't have to. So the good thing about African music is like you don't have to understand language.
Nah.
Because a lot. I mean like it ain't like majority of the stuff that I actually talk about or we tell you guys is actually not Zimbabwean music.
Yeah.
It's from all across Africa. Southern parts,
Give you a little bit of
east,
everything everywhere.
north or west.
Yeah.
But we still fuck it anyway because you don't have to understand the actual lyrics for you to feel the groove or feel the melody.
I mean,
You know
it's
what
some type of African music for it.
Yeah. That's
So
it.
yeah,
Basically.
check them tracks out.
Yeah.
And all the other ones that we talk about. If not, if you got suggestions, hit us up. Let us know. We're on YouTube, we're on Instagram. You know, even if you just need a shout out, we'll throw them shits out there for you. That's what we're here for. So yeah, hit us up on The Really Real Show on YouTube and Instagram. Or on Instagram though, it's a really real show with underscores in between each one.
Yeah, it's the real show. But I mean, there's no way you can mistake two fucking blokes in clubbers. So I mean, like,
Hey, listen.
If
like,
you need more direction than that, I'm a little bit worried.
then this is not the show for you.
Hey, yeah.
So check that out.
Thanks for kicking it with us.
Alright.
Until the next episode.
Keep it real.
Peace.
Bye. What up, what up, what up?
What's up, people? This is the Really Real Show. Back for another episode.
Yep, you're listening to Locks.
And this is Black 3lmo.
Alright.
And tonight, or today, or morning, whatever the fuck, we are talking about, or the first thing we're going to talk about, which is a little bit different.
Yeah.
So we're not going to just deconstruct a song, rather we're going to talk about Mr. Quincy Jones.
Yeah.
I'll let him take on, because he knows more about Quincy Jones than I do. So,
Well, I've done my research a little
Yeah.
bit. But for those of you that don't know Quincy Jones, he is probably one of the most influential people in the last 60 odd years, maybe, in music, even a bit of film as well, and a few other things. He's a music producer, composer, arranger, writer, artist. He's produced TV shows. He's a humanitarian, like a jack of all trades, but he's good at all of them.
yeah, so like, so not really, cause
Yeah, so he's not like a master of none. He's a master of all.
all.
Like, he's good at everything that he's touched. So
yeah,
he's found success in everything. So for those of you that may not know Quincy, or for those probably born after 95, maybe 96, he is best known. You probably know him best as the producer of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So he was responsible for giving us the actor Will Smith, not the rapper. He was already rapping before that, but he is responsible for giving us the actor Will Smith. And for those of you born before that, he is responsible for 3 of Michael Jackson's best-selling albums, Off the Wall, Thriller, which was Michael Jackson's best-selling all-time, and Bad. So he produced all 3 of those albums. So if you want to thank anyone for that album, Quincy Jones is your guy. So he did, basically to kick it off, he did an interview recently with Vulture magazine.
yeah, also yeah.
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 So he just dropped some crazy shit on people. Well, I thought it was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess to sort of like put some context, this is like why we picked this as opposed to like normal deconstructing, like, you know, normal songs or whatever.
He says some controversial shit.
There's that,
Yeah.
you know, which always is interesting shit.
Yeah.
But, you know, I guess it's also good to look at music, like whether it's hip hop or not,
In a different.
from a different perspective.
Yeah.
Like we just so used to like looking at the rapper, but like there's not much recognition that's given to
The producers.
you know,
Yeah.
like beat makers, whatever, engineers, all those people that they like, again, like
So
unsung
but
heroes.
like kind of like behind the mic type thing.
Yeah. Definitely he has worked with, like, you know, a lot of people. Like
He's worked with everyone, like Frank Sinatra, Diana Ross.
more I guess more for our crowd.
Oh,
He's,
our
like,
crowd.
People,
So
like,
Will Smith,
you'd know Will Smith,
Akon,
Trey Songz,
Tamia,
yeah.
all those guys. So he's, I think since the 60s, he's worked with like all the big names, like except Jimi Hendrix for some odd reason. Apparently Jimi Hendrix bitched it a little
Was
bit.
being a little bitch.
Yeah, and he didn't want to work with him because he was afraid of the talent that he was bringing. But needless to say, Quincy has been a part of, I think, almost every major music development that's happened since the 60s.
he's got a fucking crazy repertoire though. Like he's just,
his resume reads like something out of science fiction.
right.
This dude has done countless musical scores for films, soundtracks, like.
And it's almost as if, like just as you think like he can't do anymore, and this dude's like fucking what, like he's related to, what was it?
He's related to George Washington, the first American president. He's a direct descendant of Edward the First of England too,
Right.
all the while still managing to be mostly black. So, that in itself is an achievement, bro. Like, this guy is he's just descended from just greatness. Like, on the French side of his ancestry, he's got like musician relatives and all this other shit. Like, this dude, I don't know how to
has it all.
describe.
He's done it all.
Yeah, he's done it all. He was brought up poor. He made something of himself. He knows about just about. He's friends with freaking Bono, man. Like Oprah. He knows the Clintons on a personal level. Like, if you know both Bill and Hillary like that, to be able to say some shit, like, come on. He knew JFK. Like, he had shit to drop about everyone. But I think the one that got me in this interview was when what he said about Michael Jackson.
Oh, I think that was like the biggest part of the interview, because that's pretty much
music
where you're mainly focused on.
Yeah, music wise, I think that's probably one of the most controversial ones. Like, everything that not everything, but most of what he said in regards to certain people was pretty controversial. But from a music perspective, what he dropped about Michael was like insane. Like,
I will let it be known, the only reason I agreed to talk about this interview, Quincy's like fucking, he's great,
he's
right?
a legend.
But what really hooked me into talking about this interview is because we're going to be talking about Michael, and I'm more interested in his extracurriculars outside of music, but we'll get to that a bit later. So let's get back to.
See, I knew there was something you fucked up coming. I knew it, but I let it go because I was like, this shit is way too interesting. Screw it, I'm gonna carry on.
We'll talk about music.
Alright, we'll come back to it. But so basically, what he dropped, and I'll just borrow this for a sec. Like, I just need some direct quotes though. But like, what he dropped was basically.
Who you looking for?
The interview. So
he's actually the view on my back.
Yeah, I need direct quotes. I'm saying, but basically he said that Michael Jackson stole music of other musicians, namely Billie Jean. He stole certain parts of that song from other musicians and didn't give him credit for it. He called him greedy, and he just basically described him as just like a villain type of person. Like, he was just ruthless with what he did. He'd take, certain sections out of people's songs and then copy them and then put it into his songs, basically.
Do you remember what question it is? I don't know, it's somewhere there.
Yeah.
Look it up.
So basically he was like, he goes, I hate to get into this publicly, but Michael stole a lot of stuff. He stole a lot of songs. So a song called State of Independence by Donna Summers, and also Billie Jean by Donna Summers. He was like...
So, like, I mean, by that, did he mean as in, like, he would have stolen, like the beat, the melody,
Well, he's saying
the
he stole the notes. So
okay.
That's basically what he's decided to tell us.
Cool.
From the notes side of things,
yeah, okay.
is definitely not Michael. So maybe the lyrics could have been like him and Quincy putting it together or whatever, but the notes and all that, he just jacked them from Donna Summers. So probably Donna Summers out somewhere just going, I knew that motherfucker did something.
But
like,
doesn't that make I mean, it does make Quincy somewhat responsible, because he would have worked with Michael knowing that. Right?
Well, unless he didn't know until afterwards, when he probably heard something of Donna Summers. Like, you know how
it
like...
will be, I mean, if you're a producer, though, think about it. If you're a producer, right?
Yeah.
There's no way you're not going to know that you know, like this shit.
Well, here's the thing, like so Quincy's just basically there to help, like, with the producing.
Oh, so like he just puts the shit together. So like, what Michael would
arranges it, yeah. So they probably had a
Okay.
sample or something, and then
Okay.
Quincy takes it and says, "All right, I'm gonna do this, this, and this. I'm gonna add that."
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Alright.
So maybe Michael came to him and said, "Look, Quincy, I've got this idea. I've got these notes. Do something with it." You know what I'm saying? And then Quincy was like, "Alright, dope. I'm gonna do this, 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 and that," and he not knowing. So that's what I'm assuming. But I know some people, you know, it is the music industry. It is Hollywood. Like, you know, you're gonna take it with a grain of salt. But if it's someone like Quincy coming out with this shit, I mean, he's 84. He's got nothing to lose at this stage. Like, what the fuck would he be lying, right? I'm inclined to sort of not agree because I wasn't there, but
Right. To believe him.
to believe what he's saying, basically, because I mean, really, like, if anyone knows about music at this stage, it's Quincy Jones. You might even go as far as to say, you know, he kind of helped with modern music. Like, he's just he always had his finger on something when he was like with this. Like, he's all types of music, from classical to, he's done everything. He's done it all. So like, if you were to say you stole the music off someone, and he even says who he stole it from, which in itself is kind of like, yo, like he's telling
it'd be like one of those where like, well, if I'm lying, then let's pull up the facts.
Let's hit up Donna Summers, right?
Right, yeah.
And then on the other one, like, where he's like, he called him greedy. He said Michael was greedy. So the song "Don't Stop Till You Get Enough," there's a guy called Greg Fillinganes. He wrote a section of that.
Yeah.
And then Michael jacked it.
Yeah.
And then.
And that's crazy because like those are like his.
Some of his biggest songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, like.
I never listened to to Michael, but like I
which is a whole nother thing that we should.
Hey, well, you know what?
You need counselling for that.
What do you mean, bro? Like, look.
What normal human being? I know 10-year-olds that know Michael better than you do. And these kids were born 2007, 2008. Think about that.
Here's my thing that like.
Look. I ain't even trying to let you justify that. It's just. You need help is the thing.
I just grew up different.
No, fam, you are fucked up. Moving on. Alright, so, in saying this, like, and then another thing that I think most of us knew about Michael was the whole vitiligo, however you say.
Yeah.
Vitiligo.
Vitiligo.
Even though there's all I's in there.
Okay.
Anyway, vitiligo, whatever that is, the skin disease that turns.
So he made it up. Or is it an actual disease? Though?
It is a disease,
okay.
But it comes in patches. I've not seen, but
I've
people.
Seen,
You've seen people. They have patches. It almost looks like burns.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. You don't completely go white. So Quincy was saying basically that Michael turning white was all bullshit because he was blaming it on vitiligo. He was saying that Michael was just talking shit. Like, Michael was just crazy in the fucking head. So, to quote him, he says, "I used to kill him about the plastic surgery, man. He'd always justify it and say it was because of some disease he had. Bullshit." Right? And then he goes, the interviewer then asks how much were his problems wrapped up with fame. And then he goes, "You mean with the way he looked? He had a problem with his looks because his father told him he was ugly and abused it." Right? So, again, I've always suspected that. Not always suspected.
Was it Tito? Was it the dad?
No, Tito was Joe. Tito was his brother.
Okay.
Joe was his dad.
Alright.
But look, I always knew that Michael was putting some shit on. You don't have. First, he blamed it on the burns he got in the Pepsi ad for the whole surgery. Then he's talking about vitiligo, but vitiligo only comes in sections. It's not your whole body. So you don't completely turn white, and it almost looks like your skin has been peeled off, basically. So I always felt bullshit with that, but like I said, like,
I'm kind of disappointed because I wanted to talk shit about Michael's plastic surgery, but then now I kind of feel like a dick if I do because he was abused as a kid. So I'm kind of like,
Listen. This is kind of like Kevin Spacey trying to justify him touching up on little boys.
True.
When he was younger, talking about he was abused.
Okay.
Like, no.
That's crazy though.
That's not how it works.
It's almost as if, like when he did that, it was almost as if he was like saying, no, it's okay. You need to understand. I was abused as a kid, so
therefore
it
it's
only
fine.
makes sense for me to then abuse other kids.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, fam, alright, cool.
So it makes sense for him to no.
and then Dave Chappelle. He's like, he's talking about his bum because now, it's like now they're not gonna finish the
House
season
of Cards.
finale of House of Cards.
Oh, because of this shit.
I'm mad too, bro, because like I fucking love that show.
Well,
So now he's ruined it.
Well,
Just
because he was abused, man.
Bro, come on, he could fuck any pussy he wanted, bro. Why would he pick little boys?
He's gay. Well, he chooses now to live as a gay man, so it's all good.
Well, then fuck grown men. Jesus.
It ain't the same. Nah, it's fucked up. It's
like
fucked
little boy booty holes. Hey, sorry.
Look.
Let's be serious.
For real,
Let's
like,
reel it back in.
Yeah, you can't justify you getting plastic surgery.
Like, I mean,
turning white.
if he was gonna do it, right?
But still
like,
keeping the curls. I don't understand.
I don't know. Well.
You might as well.
You like this here.
No, that was the only redeeming feature about being black.
No, but my thing is like, alright, for justify your fucking reasons, because I mean it's his money, it's his life, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, do it, but not to that point where he looked fucking like.
He looked like a
ghastly, but like he
looked gross. You
but
know, like
like
those wax statues.
Bro, legit. He was so fucking. He was not even pale. He is actually he's white.
He's milk toast. You know, like milk. Like that's what he looked like. He was milk white.
Bro, and then he had like these fucking bony cheeks.
And that fucked up nose.
That nose, bro. And like his shit fell. Like, I mean, come on, man.
And then
If his nose is falling off.
Multiple times. Like, you gotta gather your nose. This dude was walking and then his shit fell and he caught it and put it back on. That's alarm bells, man.
I wonder how he felt like before he performed the show, because I mean that's a really scary thing though, because you're at a concert now and you're gonna be like, he danced, right? He used to dance, right?
Yeah.
So we're doing a lot of like fucking movement and shit.
You
So your shit just might drop, or you know.
You're wondering what body part is gonna drop if you get a certain move.
But he just does a sudden head turn. His nose is in the crab, bro.
So his head goes left, his nose goes right, and it's just all confusion. And everyone's just screaming, going, "Oh my god!"
Jesus fucking Christ! I bet you there'd be some cunt who'd actually keep that nose.
Oh yeah, I'll keep it and sell it.
Jesus Christ! I would stop that shit, bro.
I
would stop that shit.
Fuck that. You know how rich you get because them psychopaths.
I do not care.
I'd have camera evidence like, yo, this is Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah,
fucked up nose.
Yeah, exactly. I would fuck it
legit.
up and then take a picture of it.
I'm casing it. I'll leave the concert ASAP, go get that shit like, encased, preserved. I'm selling it. I'll be rich off this freak's nose. I mean, look,
this freak's nose.
It's fucked up in a way because Michael's dead. He can't defend himself. But
hey, bro, you
know,
honestly,
man,
if you fucked up, you fucked up. Doesn't matter if you're alive or you did.
Yeah, you
you don't get the exemption just because you did.
Yeah, bro.
So you think, come on, but we still talk shit about Hitler, right?
Yeah, so, but I mean,
what?
You know,
it's like, guys, you can't talk ill about the dead. And what? What are they gonna do about?
I'm not saying it ain't, but I'm just saying like it's a little bit fucked up. But I don't care in a way because you did some fucked up shit, man.
Yeah,
there's some weird crap that you did.
Like honestly, how do you have a fucking theme park at your house.
And have it be normal.
And then you come out and tell me you don't fuck little kids. How does that work? Like, I mean...
No. What's sus is, the only ones that he ever invited to his house were terminal little boys. Alright? And then don't tell me that like his kids are going through some shit, but don't tell me that those are his children. I'm not a scientist or a geneticist or anything, but his surgery didn't change his DNA. It just changed his skin.
Yeah, he had kids with like blue eyes and shit.
You see what I'm saying? Those kids are white as fuck, straight hair, blue eyes, green eyes, everything white. You know what I'm saying? Like, what part are we meant to believe that those kids are half black?
I think it's like Cat Wood just says, does anyone really believe he fucked even this bitch?
Exactly, like for me.
Like, would you ever picture or think Michael was hitting that?
Like balls deep into the vagina. Michael ain't about. Did he even have a penis? These are real questions, guys.
No one can actually verify that shit.
I mean, it's gross to think about, and I'm sorry for ruining your day, but...
You know, this is perfect. So next time when you listen to Michael, then you can think, but did he actually have a penis?
Did he ever go nuts deep in anyone? No. I think I can say with certainty that...
He never even had a sex tape. Not even that. Like
Michael and... Yeah. Or what? Nah. Remember that... what's Elvis Presley's daughter? They tried to do some weird shit and he looked like some gross skinny...
Oh, did I do it?
Alien. I don't know what it was.
I would not want
It
to
wasn't
see
a tape per se. I don't know what it was. I think it was just something disturbing.
You know, I'll be happy just seeing Michael with all of his clothes on and preferably a mask too. But
from a distance. Seeing Michael shirtless is creepy enough. You can just imagine going further south what you're gonna find there.
Let's go back to
just a travesty, man.
Let's go back to music.
Yeah, anyway. So anyway, basically Quincy, he just dropped more bombs, like obviously not just Michael, but like he talked about the Beatles, man. He said, and I quote, you bring that up, but, and I'll paraphrase him at the moment, but he said the Beatles were trash. Now, for most white people, the Beatles, or for that era, the Beatles were like the shit. Like, there's the word Beatles mania is an actual thing because people would go nuts for these people, right? But he basically called them rubbish musicians, yeah?
Why not? Like you said,
like, alright, so this is what he says, like, he was asked, what were your first impressions of the Beatles? And he goes, that they were the worst musicians in the world.
Wow.
So the Beatles, with songs like Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds in Her Eye, worst songs in the world, the worst musicians in the world.
And this is where we
Sgt.
just lost
Pepper.
a lot of viewers.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Drop like, what?
Right, before you get mad, this is Quincy Jones, not us. So I'm quoting what he's saying.
Just
he's saying,
what he said.
there were no playing motherfuckers. Paul was the worst bass... Sir Paul McCartney that he's talking about. The guy that got knighted for his services to music, right?
Yeah.
Paul was the worst bass player I ever heard. And Ringo didn't even talk about it. So he goes into this whole story where George Martin and Ringo, he was in the studio with them because remember he's Quincy. And they were just taking...
You want a beer?
Yeah, they was taking like 3 or 4 hours to do like a bass thing, and like it was just insane. But anyway, like Ringo was struggling, and then they got this guy called Ronnie Varel, who was a jazz drummer. He came in, and I quote, he goes, Ronnie came in for 15 minutes and tore it up. Ringo comes back and says, George, can you play it back for me one more time? So George did, and Ringo says, that didn't sound so bad. And I said, yeah, motherfucker, because it ain't you. Great guy, though. So...
After all that shit, he's a great guy, though.
So, yeah, so he basically trashes their music skills, but then says he's a great guy. Now, again, you can take it with a grain of salt if you like, but I think I'm a little bit insulted too, a little bit that
What?
he came at the Beatles like that.
Yeah.
The Beatles are actual icons. I don't listen to them, like I don't, jam their shit every day, but I listen to some of their music, like Yellow Submarine, shit like that. But I know you didn't.
Yeah, bro. Like if I didn't listen to Michael, they ain't no way I
Exactly,
listen
that's
to
what
the
I'm
fucking
saying.
Beatles.
That's what I'm saying. Like Jesus, but I think I'm a little bit. Like, I don't know if it's insulted or hurt at the fact that if it is true, like these guys were just probably taken on for their looks. Obviously, it's the '60s. They're British, they're young, and all the bitches was going mad for them.
But I mean, at the end of the day, I guess even if it's fucking Quincy Jones, you've got your own taste and your own appreciation.
You like what you like, yeah, but like
so
it is a revealing sort of thing to say that someone like Ringo Starr couldn't make a beat for shit, and Paul McCartney couldn't play bass for shit, because if you think about it though, now Paul McCartney doesn't play bass anymore, so yeah, he plays. I think he plays acoustic and lead guitar now. So maybe there was some truth to that. I don't know. All I'm saying is the Beatles. Nobody was safe. So Hendrix wasn't safe. The Beatles wasn't safe. But like I said, look up this interview because there's some real eye-opening shit. To be honest.
And the last thing you talked about was is that John Kennedy?
Yep. So the last thing he talked about, because obviously he wasn't just friends with musicians, he was friends with the Clintons, who I think they kind of scare him a little bit because of the.
He actually didn't say shit.
He didn't say shit about the Clintons, man, which makes you wonder. Like Hillary, I don't even think Bill was into some shit. Bill was chilled as fuck, but Hillary probably.
She looks like that type of bitch you do not want to cross.
She's a killer. Hillary Clinton is a killer. So he didn't even say anything bad about the Clinton. He's just like, nah, I can't be saying this shit in public. Like he flat out refused. So take that however you want to, but the Clintons know some shit, right? So the other thing that he talked about.
I thought you were about to say salt again. I was like, what the fuck is with you and this salt, bro? I was like, so what happened before this episode?
Right.
Tell me.
Like you can't take it. It's just a saying, man.
Well,
Jesus.
right.
But sorry.
Right.
Said it twice, bitch.
Let's keep it going.
I mean, if you'd let me. That's cool. Anyway.
Yeah, as you were saying.
So, then he goes, not really in depth, but he does kind of just touch up on John F. Kennedy. Now, again, for those of you born after, or not even born after, but for those of you that read books, you know who John F. Kennedy is. For those of you that don't read a book of anything, really, and then work your way up to JFK. But JFK was the President of the United States in the 60s sometime in the 60s, like, the dates I'm not too sure about, but he was basically like, kind of like he was like a pimp as a president. He was a womanizer. Like JFK got bitches is how I can say it.
He just remember that Family Guy shit.
Which one?
When Stewie's like talking about Usher. It's like this bitch is just been with and bitch is gonna get.
He's gonna get.
So which one is it?
You know what I mean? That sums up JFK.
Yeah.
There was bitches he'd been with, and there was bitches he was gonna get. That was it. And this dude was the president, by the way, so he could come through.
Wait, wasn't he married? Because I mean, as a president, after.
Yeah, to Jackie Kennedy.
Okay.
Remember, Marilyn Monroe.
Oh yeah.
He was.
Is that what she's
famous? Yeah. So apparently.
Did she actually get famous? Because
No, she was like a whole just because she was hot, man. She was an actress, although a poor one at that. I'm sure. A little bit of a singer, like a poor actor, like shit house actor.
Yeah.
And then all these other things, but then like apparently because they were having an affair, homie had tunnels built into the White House from somewhere nearby.
Jesus Christ.
So she'd sneak in through the tunnels to a certain room, they go bang, and then she'd walk back out. Like that's how for real that shit
To
work.
build a tunnel just to get a pussy, bro.
Hey, he's the president. He can make that shit happen.
Yeah, I know, but there's a lot of
built-
easier ways you can do that.
Like, you know, just leave. But he's the president.
Yeah, right. Like, just leave the house.
Just walk out the door and go.
Build a tunnel, bro.
Yep.
This nigga had to go underground.
No, bro, he brought the bitches to him.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying is like he had to.
Yeah, he had to go
devise an
subterranean.
Jesus. Fuck.
He went subterranean to bring
Right.
bitches, man.
Because primarily that's how bitches like always like portrayed in that white dress.
White dress, blonde,
red
white hair,
lipstick.
lipstick,
Yeah.
you know, thick, voluptuous, like hourglass body, that shit.
Okay, cool.
That one. So he was tapping that. So JFK had it going on. He had bitches, right? But what we're most known for is the assassination. So, again, for those of you that read a book,
What was that saying? That famous saying, like, for rappers, it's like you're not famous until you get shot or you get killed.
yeah,
What was that?
you're no one until someone kills you.
Yeah.
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 JFK. So yeah, he got shot in Dallas. So he was riding in his motorcade, his open top, because it's smart. He's waving to the crowd. Boom! He gets shot in the head, neck, chest. It was all the thing, but like, there's a whole conspiracy going on with that. So back to the Quincy thing. Quincy basically saying he knows who killed him, right?
And he calls him out.
He says who the guy is.
They say it's like some Italian gangster.
It's some Italian mafia dude named
Yeah.
Sam Giancana.
Bro. And it was just crazy how he just name
He just
dropped.
dropped him.
I was like, whoa.
I'm assuming because Sam Giancana is dead,
Obviously. Most likely.
tying up loose ends. But like, apparently there was like, this was one of the theories, was that Sam Giancana was a big Italian mafia guy in Chicago, and he helped JFK get votes in the state of Illinois, where Chicago is, yeah. And then they had a disagreement later on for some reason, and then Sam had him done. Now, even with the mafia, I don't know if they'd have the balls to bring down that sort of heat on themselves, but like, you know, do the
Killing
president.
the president, right?
You know what I mean? If that is true, and to me, having read into it how much, like as much as I have, I think he's only partially correct in that maybe Sam had a part to play in it, obviously, or he was probably like a go-between. But I think the main players in there were the CIA.
There would have been bigger players.
Yeah, the
They probably
CIA
just used the mafia.
as a cover.
Yeah.
It's a scapegoat basically, because like, what are they gonna do? So I think to me, basically, like, it was the CIA's, the FBI, and the army, right at that time, because the CIA was run by Alan Dulles, who had his own shady shit to go, and the FBI was run by J. Edgar Hoover, who, in all honesty, was probably one of the most powerful people in America at that time, because he had dirt on everybody.
Yeah.
If you were famous, halfway famous, or a politician, he had something on you. He had his people follow you. As soon as you got to a position of power, he hit you up and be like, yo, we have this on you now. We know you don't want this to leak, so whenever I need a favor, I will call you.
I'll pull strings.
And just say yes, and we can all get about our lives. That was J. Edgar Hoover. Insane. He had dirt on and I mean, from the president down, he had dirt on everyone. He was untouchable because he ran the FBI for a good, until he died, basically. Now they have terms for that shit, right? Not with J. Edgar, they didn't.
Really?
Yep, he was director for life, basically. From its inception, he was there until he died.
Jesus.
Yep.
Bro.
It's your boy. So if anyone knew what the fuck happened, J. Edgar was in the middle of that. I have no doubt about. They did him, because then they blamed Lee Harvey Oswald, right? But they were saying the direction that he was shooting at and the gun that he had, it didn't match any of the bullets. The caliber of bullets and the gun that he had, impossible. Those bullets were too big for the gun that they found him with. For one. Second, the angle that he came at didn't make sense with the shots. He was hit from at least 3 different angles. And none of them were from when they were talking about. And a lot of people were saying they saw another shooter coming from like this little grassy area. Another one heard shots from another building. Like, this is not just 1 or 2 people. These are multiple witnesses all corroborating and saying, we were here, we heard this. We were here, we heard that shot. Do you know what I mean? Like, and the way he was shot from the back of the head, like in the neck from the back. He was shot up here. Like, half his brain came out that fucking way, but they're saying he got shot from the side. Yeah. Like, his wife was like holding parts of his shit. Like, and he was still alive at this stage. Like, he's still breathing. So when they took him to the hospital, like, his shit was everywhere and his brains is leaking out and they're trying to put it back in. Dude is still alive. It was jacked up. Like, they had pictures of him, like, having half his head missing. Anyway, it was a whole thing. So they're basically saying, Quincy was just saying like that JFK's killer was an Italian mobster. Now, I partially believe that. I think the mafia had a part to play in it, but they weren't the big players in it. They were probably the scapegoats.
Okay.
But I don't think they had anything to do with that. There was just way too many players in that shit. So, yeah, man, it just insane now. Like, Quincy just dropped a whole bunch of shit, man. Like, it was just, yeah.
Well, not a lot, but like, you get the idea.
Yeah, so this is just giving you like the basics, but there's a whole lot more in that interview that you got to check out. Just check out vulture.com or whatever their website is.
Yeah.
Vulture magazine, just search it up, it'll come up, and then you just click on Quincy's picture. They give you the whole rundown, but yeah, we just thought we'd give you that breakdown instead of, just the normal music.
So don't you worry, this is actually still a show about hip hop.
Well, it is music related. I mean, it's Quincy though.
Yeah, no, we just like talking about like conspiracy theories and like whatever the fuck.
Because we're crazy like that. But
but
moving on.
Yeah.
So now we got album review.
And for this one, we are going with because I guess albums, or rather good albums, are hard to come by.
At the moment, it's a bit of a drought, to say the least.
I mean, it has been for a few years, but because
it's sort of, yeah.
There's few artists like you really get interested in terms of like them dropping their shit.
Yeah.
So we decided to go,
way back
a little bit. What, 96?
Yeah.
But yeah, 96.
Just 20 years, no big deal.
Yeah. So this is definitely nostalgia for the people that were around that time and listened to that music, and it is an eye opener for people who have never actually listened to this album, and it is The Coming. So The Coming is the debut album from none other than Busta Rhymes.
Bustle Bus.
And this is, I kind of have like gripes with people who like, fucking Busta this, Busta that, but they go off shit like, look at me now. Because everybody talks about that verse and look at me.
Man,
and like, to me, because I did not like that verse.
I don't like the song in general. Like,
and
just because he raps fast doesn't mean he's like,
it's good.
You know what I'm saying?
Just because you're going fast, it does not make it a fucking good.
You're not
verse.
rapping well just because you're rapping fast.
Right.
I'm not saying it was shit, but I'm not saying it was the best. Like I personally.
But like, I mean, cause I've grown up listening to Busta Rhymes. Like, I've listened to like a lot of his shit. So
he had one of the
most I'm a bit more critical
coming up.
Yeah. So you obviously be a bit more critical when you hear Busta rapping, because
especially if you heard him back in the day, like he was kind of like ODB in how he flowed. Like if you heard and very few people would hear like
just like
all dirty
crazy.
Yeah, right? He was loud. He was out there like Busta with the dreadlocks.
Nobody. He had his own style.
Yeah, like I'm saying, if you were to try to like compare it to someone like, but even then, like obviously it was his own, because he could switch it up.
Right.
He could switch it up. That's the thing. Like dreadlock Busta, probably the best version of Busta Rhymes. Not to knock him now, he's still got that fire. Like, he can still bring the shit when he needs
But
to.
you know, obviously at this stage in his career
He's
or
just
his
chilling.
life, yeah, I mean,
He's
like,
just
he doesn't have to prove anything because
Yeah,
he's already
he's
done
just
it.
looking for talent now. Like, he's got OT Genesis and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
he's just chilling. But Busta from like 96 to what, 2005?
Probably. Like I think probably like the last album that I really fucks with was The Big Bang. So I think The Big Bang would have come out when I was in high school. So let's just say between 2006 and 2008 because I can't remember when it dropped.
Whenever he shaved his dreadlocks, for me, I think
That was kind of like true that.
That's when he changed.
So The Coming, that's his debut album.
Yeah.
It's I'll be honest. If you're used to today's music,
You probably won't get this.
or it'll take you it'll take you a bit to appreciate it.
Give
Like
it time. Yeah, don't just.
you won't like it the first. You might not like it the first time you hear it.
Yeah.
Because it's a really different vibe to it, and it was a time where like hip hop was really different. So like
the beats is different. Like, it's just.
so everything about it was different. Like
It's more jazzy. Like, you know, when they mixed up like that jazz with like the hip hop. Like, it was just like simple beats. It wasn't too complicated. He had a few instruments here and there, and then that's it. Like, it wasn't like overly done.
And there were more instruments back then in the beats than there are now. Like, everything is almost
There's
like
no
computerized.
808s. Yeah, there's no 808s.
Yeah.
No
And-
synths and none of that. It was just your drums. You got your this. You got your that, and then it was just more simple.
Yeah.
In that, because it was now 50-50 with. Or actually, I think then it was more 60-40 towards your lyrics and your style, like your delivery.
Oh.
It was more the rapper now than
yeah.
the music.
So like now you've got a lot of times where like people are carried by the beat than what they're actually talking about. But before then it was like
It was the other way around.
the beat was kind of like the beat is
The
like
beat was the actual support. Yeah.
it was like a it was just like some fucking side effect.
It was like equipment. It was like your equipment. Like, you need it to do this.
Yeah.
To be able to get the full
But that's
picture
not.
out.
But that's not really carrying you.
Yeah.
So like, we'll get into the album though. We'll get into the album. So like, my opinion on the album. I mean, I'm a Busta fan already, and I'll be honest. I didn't listen to his first album through and through.
Yeah.
Like until we had to do the review, that was actually the first time I actually had to go through his album, right? Prior to that, because I think I've listened more to his albums that came after, more than I did to The Coming. So for me, it was a good feeling because it almost felt as if I was, like taking a trip down memory lane.
Oh, hell yeah.
Getting to feel
how
the
good
old
was
Busta.
96, man?
It's just crazy, and like. It's just making me, because when you listen to it, because you're thinking that it's in 96, so you're like, fuck.
You're
what
like,
would I
between,
do?
you said 96 and 99.
Yeah.
That's like mad nostalgia right there, man. Like,
Right.
all the things that just come flooding back to you back then.
And
Captain Planet and shit.
Bro, this is so, like,
Bruh.
not to shit on, like, shit that's going on now, but, like,
Now this is better. What? What?
yeah, we're not gonna have that discussion right there. But
It's for another day.
I think for me on the album, I mean obviously Everything Remains Raw is damn. I think I'll come out and say that's my favorite track on the album.
Oh hell yeah! Like, if you want a lesson in flow and delivery, man, don't even worry about the lyrics. Like, if you just want flow and delivery.
So Busta's not really about like like content. If you want content or like subject matter, he's about flow and rhymes.
He is style, flow, delivery, rhymes.
Yeah, that's and he fucking delivers.
Like the way he's switching up, he go low and then he just come yelling shit out.
And he just goes.
And it's like, what?
But and it's not like he's gonna mumble.
Nah.
He's actually saying shit.
He's clear, he's concise, and he's telling you, like, and it's just.
It's crazy.
That song is probably like one of the best examples of like delivery at its best.
Right.
Like your flow, your delivery, and it's crazy shit. Like,
And I think that song has the maddest line for me. And he says like, "Run up in your house like my name was Search Warrant." Oh, I heard that.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
because I mean, obviously when I heard him when I was a little kid, I didn't know what the fuck what he was talking about.
Right? Because when I heard it, I was just like, oh, what the fuck? And then you just replay it, and he's like, I burn your food like France, run up in your crib like my name was Search Warrant. And the way he says that whole thing, like he's just changing it up, and it's like, what? And you're just sitting there going, what is this guy doing, man?
Right.
Like, it's
And then-
crazy.
And then I guess the second favorite has to be Hot Fudge.
Yeah.
I
He slows that down. That's
I
the
like
one with like that
it's like
jazzy feel.
It's like a mellow beat.
Yep.
And because what I like is it's got the mellow beat, but
His bars is still go.
his bars are hard.
Yeah.
And like he's still getting hard, so like he doesn't sort of like take a step back.
Nah.
So
He's still giving you that hard shit.
So which kind of gives you that contrast, like where you got a really mellow beat, but like really hard bars, hard rhymes.
Yep.
And I like that mix of that. And then you got Abandoned Ship.
It's a party.
That was a good one. And I'm always a fan of like songs with no hook, because usually only people who are confident in their bars do songs with no hook.
Yeah. But then again, if you say that, they look at like K-Dub, like he's got hooks in his shit.
No. I'm saying it's in it's standard that you always have a hook on your song. So when you choose not to have a hook,
but do you know who's actually done a lot of songs with no hooks? Drake. Look at his 9 AM in Dallas.
and
6 PM in
he
New York,
and his pen game is fucking hard.
Yeah, but coming to now like diplomatic immunity guys.
So that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like anybody who
does a lot of no hook songs
or any no hook song, like that definitely means like your shit's on point.
Like you just came to bring the fire. That's it. Like, you're not worried about.
So that's why I like Abandoned Ship, because like niggas is just going like
that one and Flip Mode Squad meets Def Jam Squad.
I like that because it had
everybody.
Two of my favorite rappers, Busta and Redman.
Yep, and they just came in and it's like 6-7 minutes.
Yeah.
And they all come in like, I think it was like 3 guys from each group.
Yeah, just like interchanging and shit. That was dope.
They just coming in and throwing freestyles, and then they get out.
And I think the last one probably for me is like The Finish Line, because I mean it's a party. Like I was gonna say everybody knows it, but like not everybody knows it. But
if you were around that time, you know.
It's a party would have been like that was kind of like the jam you play it at like at a party.
At a party, because it's a party. It was on the
Club,
radio. That was probably like his most commercial song, and it wasn't even like that commercial to be honest.
Probably the one with Janet Jackson though. Remember that one?
Was that like a lead singer off the shit?
Hmm?
Which one was it?
What is it called? What's It Gonna Be?
Oh.
When they had the whole silver shit.
Oh yeah.
Him and Janet Jackson.
Yeah, and they doing that trippy shit.
Yeah.
Alright, that's true. That's true. But I love that song. It's
a party. It's a fucking good song.
That brings back mad memories.
Oh, hard. And then I think the Finish Line is like the last song I recommend. So I think
just listen to the whole thing, mate.
On overall, I would give the album 3 stars.
Nice. I'd give that 3.5. Maybe because I don't know. Maybe I was feeling like mad nostalgic when I heard it, and it just kind of takes you back, like to when beats was just the accompaniment, really. But like, 3.5 stars for sure. Like for me, anyway. Yeah. But anyway, Busta Rhymes, The Coming. Definitely give that a good.
Give it a listen, because I feel like
for any of you fans that are like feeling nostalgic or you feeling like old school, check that shit out.
Yeah, and so here's my opinion as well. Like I mean, hip hop has existed for years before whenever you start listening to it. whenever I started listening to it, whenever you started listening to it, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like you need to listen to some of the shit from back then and appreciate it or understand, because like you know how they say you never understand the present unless you go back into the past.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
gives you an idea of how we've sort of gotten to it.
Yeah. So you can't tell me you listen to hip hop or you're the maddest fan of hip hop, yet you don't know anything prior to your fucking era.
Yeah.
Because then that's bullshit. Because I mean, if you think about it, like this era now is like more, I guess like the most prevalent thing is like mumble rap, right?
Yep.
And
drug user music.
Yeah, and I mean, like I'll listen to it sometimes, right? Or not sometimes. Like I've got some of it. I just pick and choose, right?
I still listen to Future a little bit every now and again.
Yeah. So we pick and choose, so like we still appreciate it.
Yeah.
But in saying that, so it's not necessarily about a fight or this division about music and old school.
Yeah.
But it's again, like the whole point of the show. The whole premise of us doing this is because we're trying to bridge that gap where you've got old people trying to go across and listen to the newer shit, and you've got new people trying to get back to like the old shit, and then they understand, oh snap, okay, so this is what old heads be talking about, or okay, this is what else hip hop offers, right? It's not just about turn up.
It's just changing perspective, really. It's just to open you up to more music. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. All right, so moving on to my generation.
My generation, yeah.
Yeah. What do you got for that?
My gen, I've got Lil Wayne, Gossip.
Oh, word.
Can't really remember which year Gossip dropped. I know it's just in high school. I just don't know which year. But so this could range anywhere from 2008 going back.
Yeah.
Which is, essentially our generation anyway. But
pretty much.
It's definitely one of the hardest tracks Lil Wayne has ever done. So for all you Lil Wayne doubters, and all you
doubt him, I'm just saying,
all you
fell off,
who love talking shit about Lil Wayne.
I'm not talking shit. This is facts. That's another thing for another day. Carry on with your shit.
Okay.
Carry on with your shit.
Alright. So Gossip, that's a hard track, and I love the opening line. He goes, "Stop hating on a nigga that is a weak emotion, the lady of a nigga." That was his opening line, and he.
I see why you chose it.
And I think that was he performed that as well. I think it was like at
MTV or something.
One of those award shows, whatever the fuck.
BET.
Yeah, BET.
One of them.
BET, yeah. And he did, because it's like a no hook song.
Yeah, but you just go straight in.
Man, he is. I'll say it. It is one of the hardest tracks I've ever heard Lil Wayne on.
Yeah.
It's fucking so hard, bro. Like because you know how Wayne, it's like when Wayne's motivated, he will go in like.
Oh hell yeah.
If he's got a subject that he wants to address, he'll go in on it.
Yeah.
And then sometimes he can just go really wayward with shit and just like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Right? But on this, he was just it's really hard, bro. So that is my track for my generation.
Alright, Lil Wayne, Gossip. Alright.
Yeah.
So for mine, again, going back to this whole Busta Rhymes thing, It's a Party. Now. Yeah. This song is just, like I said, it brings back mad memories, man. Like it's just nostalgia written all over it.
It's so chill.
Yeah,
I like it so like got this chill vibe.
It just takes me back to, this is like shit, not even 99. It's like 96 to 2000. So when it dropped to about 2000, every party that I went at, everyone was playing this song at some stage. Yeah, shit. This shit was that dope. Like that song is timeless, actually. I think to me that song's timeless. Like if you,
I'd wanna hear it now though. I would be mad. Like just going to a party. I mean, you're obviously not gonna hear it in a club, but like just going to a party.
I'm actually making my mission to play it at a party.
Yeah.
Word
Right.
up, for real. Because I can just imagine, like I can just imagine all these people just like, oh shit, I haven't heard this in a minute, and everyone's just like jamming to it.
Sure.
It just, it's not just what it makes you feel now, but it just brings you back to like all these things when you were younger, and that's why for me that song is a party. Like it just sums up pretty much like most of the good times that you would have had, like that I had anyway.
Yeah.
You just think this song and you just think all these good memories, and it's just like a mad like trip down memory lane for me. So
Yeah.
it's a party. Busta Rhymes and is it Jane?
Shiny. Yeah.
Shane.
Yeah.
Look that up. Okay.
Turn up.
Turn up beats. Alright, so for turn up,
Turn up.
I got, now this one is like, this is mumble rap kind of, but I just fuck with the beat. But it's called Space Cadet by Collision with a K. Collision with a K. Just in K.
Of course.
But this, if you listen to it, is just your typical turn up beat. This is something that you probably won't remember in 6 months' time.
6 months. 6
I'm being
days.
generous. Hey, I listened to it for like a week and a half now, so maybe
Alright.
we'll say 2 months' time. Say 2 months'
Okay,
time.
We'll talk about it. We'll readdress it.
We'll check back in then.
On the next episode.
Yeah.
Didn't see if you still listen to it.
I probably will, but like in 2 months' time, we'll say.
Alright.
But it's just typical turn up. It's got a hard beat. Now, half the
What is
song,
it called?
Space Cadet Collision.
Okay.
So half the song you're trying to figure out what the fuck he's saying until you just went, nah, fuck it. I'll replay it, I'll just bump it as is, and then I'll just carry on with my life.
Who produced it?
Quality music?
Okay.
Quality control. I think that's his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just a cool beat. It's just something you hear at a party, you're like, you want to turn up, you want to get rowdy, that type of shit. But then you probably forget about it the minute it ends.
Yeah.
So yeah, look it up. Space Cadet by Collision with a K. It is actually pretty decent. If you want to turn up and get rowdy, check it out.
For me, I went with Lil Wayne again. This one is off his most recent mixtape, D6 Reloaded. I won't talk about the mixtape. I'll just talk about this song. So this is For Nothing. So For Nothing is like basically first track on the
First track, yeah.
And wow, what a hard first track.
He goes in. He's dropping bars for at least 4 minutes. Just
Again, no hook.
no hook.
He's just fucking going, and it really felt like mixtape Wheezy.
Yeah.
Because I missed that, and when I was listening to it, he was really going in. And I think one of my favorite lines is like, he says they can't hide their battle scars, but they can hide their tummies. Like it was talking about women and like how you talk about how women have been fucked over by the system and it's led them into selling themselves or selling their pussy, and may not necessarily be a prostitute, but in some form,
almost
some
like
way,
welfare baby type shit.
you are doing it.
Yeah.
And I mean, he doesn't really go much into it, but when I heard it, I was like, that's actually some true shit. That like, I mean, a lot of the times when we might talk shit or like laugh about like how women